Behind this intense martial arts vibe, what kind of bizarre story is being told? In the chaotic world of martial arts, killing or being killed often comes down to a split-second decision, but taking a life ultimately requires a reason. Now Lu Zhonggong is willing to slaughter the martial arts world, capturing heroes from all over in a matter of months, petting them in the palace to raise his flag, but for the great hero Miao, he doesn't care. If you want to kill my brothers, you'll have to ask me first. Just as the execution was about to begin, Miao descended from the sky. The brothers heard the sound of the golden hope bell, and realized that their elder brother had arrived. Soon, Miao the great hero with his fluid movements cut down all the enemies, but one person remained motionless. Suddenly, Miao the great hero was struck by an arrow. After a gust of wind, the master of the Six Swords Palace Absolute Emotion Sword struck, though he had long wanted to face him. Today was not the time for a prolonged battle. Saving his brothers was the priority. Thus, Miao the great hero forced himself to withstand Absolute Emotion Sword's attack, using the brief moment to intercept the opponent, telling his brothers to flee quickly. But his consciousness was already fading. Vaguely, Miao the 11th saw two bells, and before him, the princess seemed to have transformed into a red-clothed maiden, and he eventually collapsed. In his dream, it seemed as though someone was saving him, but his eyes grew heavier and heavier. In the haze, it was again the red-clothed maiden. Miao Dacia spoke frankly, saying that he could never repay her kindness, and he could not bear to leave her behind. As a martial artist, he lived a life of danger, earning each day as it came. Frequent battles would dull his senses. The blade is no longer sharp. It's all self-inflicted. Let us forget each other in the martial arts world. In a daze, 6 lamps lit up, and Miao the great hero was tightly bound. He mocked the other for using poison, calling it despicable, but the princess warned him not to move if he didn't want to die. As for his 5 brothers, 3 had fled, and the other 2 who were still alive had been dealt with. Next, it was his turn. However, upon seeing the bell, Miao Dacia, who was clearly exhausted, suddenly broke the chains and shouted, "Take my life." But the princess casually picked up a pair of scissors, and said, "It's for your own good." But in Miao Dacia's eyes, they had never met before. Yet she was killing her own brothers. To harm the martial arts world, one ultimately needs a reason. However, though it was called the Heartless Blade, the weapons used were a mess. This made Miao Dacia even more furious. The princess's words could sever emotional ties, resolve attachments, eliminate suffering, and remove these troubles. Wasn't this exactly what the hero wanted? I have no attachments, so where do these troubles come from? Then why are you still carrying him? The princess wearing a bell did not answer. Instead, she mocked the hero for claiming to have no attachments. She even said she wanted to roam the world. All of this was a lie. In truth, there is a home in your heart, discussing gatherings, each holding their own opinions. The turmoil never ceases. But you should stand firm, for that is your true self. What did he say? In the end, he still didn't tell her. The hero then used his last ounce of strength. He only wanted one answer. Who was the other person? Doc Xiao, the so-called Heartless Blade. A blade like a flying knife. A single strike, fatal yet heartless. Go home. All of this was just a dream. At the entrance of a pet charity clinic, 3 little kittens cried sadly, because today their older brother, Miao had gone out wandering all day, and contracted an illness. Now he has been neutered by his owner. Otherwise, his life would be in danger. When you wake up, come home with me.